As the orange sun dipped over the Lego skyline, Adiz stood in her tiny one-room apartment, staring at her phone. Her boss, Desmond Okafor, the most powerful man in the company, had just sent her a message. "Come to my house tonight. I'm sending a car." Her hands trembled. No one got called to Desmond's mansion after work unless it meant trouble or destiny. The black SUV arrived like a shadow. The driver said nothing. As the city lights blurred past, Adiz's thoughts ran wild. She clutched her worn handbag close, whispering a prayer under her breath. Somewhere deep inside, her spirit told her this journey would change her forever. Banana Island glittered like a kingdom of wealth. Desmond's mansion stood tall behind golden gates, guarded by silence. Adiz stepped out, overwhelmed by the world she could never afford. The butler led her through marble halls filled with art and history, straight into the lion's den. In his vast study, Desmond Okafor sat with his back turned, the faint glow of a lamp outlining his tall frame. "Sit," he said coldly. His voice carried power and danger. Adiz obeyed, trembling slightly as her boss turned toward her. Eyes sharp, smile unreadable. He opened a drawer and slid a brown envelope toward her. "Deliver this to Chief Emeka in Ibadan. Don't open it, don't ask questions." The room fell silent. Adiz's heartbeat echoed louder than her thoughts. She nodded slowly, unaware that the paper in her hands carried a curse disguised as a favor. The city faded behind her. The hum of the car and the darkness outside pressed against her heart. She looked at the envelope, so ordinary, yet strangely heavy. Something about it felt alive. "What could be inside?" she whispered. When the car broke down near a lonely village, Adiz sat alone in silence. The moonlight shimmered across the envelope's seal. Curiosity whispered. She tore the wax slightly, and the wind turned cold. A whisper brushed her ear. "He knows who you are." Her breath caught. "Who's there?" she whispered. But no one answered. Only the rustle of trees and distant drums. Something had awakened, and it knew her name. By dawn, they reached Ibadan, a town still half asleep. The address led to a weathered colonial house surrounded by overgrown trees. Adiz hesitated before knocking. When the gate creaked open, an old man's voice asked, "Who sent you?" Inside, candles burned low. The old man, Chief Emeka, looked at her with pity. "You should not have come, child. This message is not for mortal hands." Adiz's confusion turned to fear. "What do you mean?" she asked, voice trembling. Chief Emeka broke the seal. A black feather drifted out, glowing faintly. The candle flames turned blue. "It has begun," he whispered. The air grew heavy, and Adiz felt her soul tremble. The chief's voice broke. "That man you serve, his wealth is bound by dark promises. Each generation must send an innocent soul to bear the curse. He chose you." Adiz's heart shattered. "No, he wouldn't." She fell to her knees, sobbing. "Please, there must be a way." The chief touched her head. "There is. Go to the river at dawn. The spirits will test your heart. Only purity can break what greed has bound." At first light, Adiz stood by the Ogun River. Mist rose like spirits from the water. She clutched the black feather, whispering prayers. "If my heart is true, let me live." Footsteps behind her. It was Jude, Desmond's driver. His voice shook. "He sent me to make sure you finished the job." Adiz's eyes widened. "You knew about this?" He looked away. "I'm sorry. I had no choice." The water rippled violently. A booming voice echoed from beneath. "Who brings the cursed feather to my waters?" The river spirit rose, tall, shining, and terrible. The earth shook beneath her feet. "I was deceived," she cried. "Please spare me." The spirit's eyes burned like fire. "The innocent shall be tested by fire." Waves rose high, swallowing her whole. When she opened her eyes, she was floating in a place of light and shadow. Whispering spirits surrounded her. One voice spoke gently. "Your heart carries no greed. Speak your truth, child." "I forgive him," she wept. "I forgive them all." A beam of light struck her chest. The feather in her hand burst into flames and vanished. The spirits bowed. You are free. Then everything went silent and dark. She awoke on the riverbank, coughing water. Jude stood nearby, speechless. The sun was bright, and her eyes glowed faintly with peace. Take me home, she said calmly. There's something I must finish. Desmond froze when she entered his study. You're alive? Yes, she said softly. And you're finished. He backed away. You don't understand. I understand enough, she interrupted, her voice calm as thunder. The lights flickered. The air grew heavy. Desmond's portrait fell from the wall. He gasped, clutching his chest. No, the curse. His body crumpled, lifeless, consumed by the greed he had sown. Adiz stood over him in silence. I forgive you, she whispered. For a moment, the air felt lighter, as if the spirits themselves sighed with relief. Justice had been done, but mercy had spoken first. Days later, the company board called Adiz in. To her shock, Desmond's final will named her as the new CEO. He had written it before the night he died, perhaps out of guilt or redemption. Adiz stood on the balcony of Okafor Holdings, watching the city she once feared. She had inherited an empire, not to rule, but to heal. The wind felt different now, lighter, freer. Under her leadership, the company built schools, hospitals, and orphan programs. For the first time, wealth served the poor. And every project carried a small feather symbol, white now, not black. Years later, she visited the Ogun River once more. She placed a white feather on the water. Thank you, she whispered. The river shimmered, peaceful at last. Villagers still spoke of the woman who survived the curse of wealth and turned it into blessing. Her story spread from Lagos to the hinterlands, a tale of betrayal, faith, and rebirth. Adiz often said, "Power means nothing unless it heals." Her voice carried through schools and conferences, a symbol of truth rising from corruption. At sunset, Adiz stood alone on the same balcony where her journey began. The wind whispered through her hair, carrying one last echo. You were sent by darkness, but you became the light. She smiled, finally free.